crackle and boom, Butter Bob slides in. Make room. Who brings the heat? Bacon woman. Who keeps it smooth? Butter Bob. Together they're unstoppable. Give it all you got. Butter Bob and Bacon Woman taking the ride. Carnivore heroes full of pride. From rooftop fights to the open highway, they'll save the day the savory way. They don't just stop crime. They sizzle and slide.
I love that. I wish I looked as good as that guy.
You like it?
Yes, I like it. Yeah.
Awesome, awesome. And hey,
Oh,
hey,
I got
Keto
some
Rock
feedback.
Stars and Butter Bob fans,
There
I'll
we go.
let you introduce.
Oh, I'm Butter Bob. I'm just Bob from Tennessee. I've started for your fans. I started a little channel back in 2014 called a Butter Bob's channel, and had a fairly well-known video in the carnivore in the keto world called "Butter Makes Your Pants Fall Off." I'm a grandfather. I'm widowed. I live in Tennessee. I own my own business. Yeah, that's about all. I'm pretty boring.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And I'm Rockin Coach Amy. Some people know me as AKA Bacon Woman. I kind of have this little carnivore Avenger thing going on that's been happening almost a year that I've been doing for fun for people. So that intro was a little gift to Bob. I'll send that to you.
Yeah, I love that.
And I did a song. And so yeah, that's kind of my story. And I'm a double certified health coach now.
Saw that.
And I think we're gonna talk about my story a little bit, but I'll let Bob drive the conversation.
No, I want to hear your story. I've saw that you, if I'm right, you have 2 certifications, right? One
I
from
do.
Dr. Berry and one from
Mhm.
Dr. Kiltz, right? Is that
I
correct?
do. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. I'll go a little bit into that, but just to start things off, I never had a weight problem growing up, right? I was always a thin kid. And as a matter of fact, my nicknames growing up used to be Olive Oil. If you
Oh,
watch
wow.
Popeye, the little
Yeah.
skinny lady that
Yeah.
was with Popeye, and then they used to call me Sasquatch too because I was tall. I was taller than all the boys, so they used to pick on me. And I never really had a weight problem. I mean, when I started going to college and I got a car and I had access to like fast food, I would say I put on like 20 pounds maybe, but still not really a big weight problem. And then wasn't until like, age 25, I was diagnosed with arthritis, and I'm sure it was because my
Wow.
diet was crap, right? Like
Wow.
they put me on some sort of anti-arthritis medication. I've always had asthma. I've been on allergy medication since age 9. I'm still on an allergy medication, but I'm working on getting off of that. And I've always had like terrible asthma since age 9. Now this has all gotten better on a ketogenic and carnivore way of eating.
It's
And
good.
I always had terrible sinus infections, and I was supposed to, when I was really little, have a sinus surgery, and my parents, for whatever reason, went in there and they're like, there's a 50% chance this could go wrong. So they didn't do the surgery, and I thank my parents because I have had 7 surgeries in my adult life since age 28 or 29. I want to say 7 surgeries, and I'll kind of walk through those briefly, but the first problem that I had when I was about 28 or 29 was I got one of these sinus infections that I always had. And I kept going on antibiotics and the pain never went away, right? I had this
Wow.
excruciating pain in the side of my face. And if you've ever had a bad toothache or a bad tooth and you get that excruciating pain that's what it ended up being. It ended up being something called trigeminal neuralgia. And it's the only time in my life that I've ever been depressed, right? Because this went on for 2 years. The only thing they could do was mask it with pain medication. So I was taking like 6 Vicodins a day. I was taking Klonopins. I was taking diazepam, temazepam, baclofen. I was like over the recommended dose of a drug called Lyrica, which is like gabapentin for nerve pain. And the doctors were like, you're just going to have to live with this. And I'm kind of stubborn. I'm like, no, I'm not living with this. So I found a surgeon in Detroit, Michigan. At the time, 20 years ago, he was one of 3 surgeons that would take cases like this. And I was cocky. I went into him. I'm like, I want to go to Mayo Clinic. I don't know why I'm here. I don't want to be in Michigan. And he's like, well, you can go to Mayo Clinic, but they'll send you right back to me because I'm the best. And I'm like, whoa, this is my kind of guy. I
Yeah.
need someone confident. And he did brain surgery for me. And he fixed my problem, right? So they nicked my trigeminal nerve. I had brain surgery in the base of my skull.
Wow.
They nicked this was my very first surgery. I went straight for the big one, the brain surgery. They nicked my trigeminal nerve a third of the way through, and then they put like some sort of foam barrier in a nerve in my ear. Now, about this time, I had met my husband, and this was when Atkins was a huge deal, right? And I never bought the book or anything. I just kind of like researched it the way I'm like, oh, basically, it's cutting carbs,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
I
That's
would
what it
just eat
was. Yeah.
meat. I would just eat meat and a veggie. I didn't even go through the stages. I lost like 20 or 30 pounds before my wedding. And I'm like, okay. Then we went on a 2-week honeymoon in the Caribbean. And I kid you not, I'm like, I'm just gonna take a break from Atkins and I'm just gonna eat all the things on the cruise, right? Because they had these buffets. We were taking plates of brownies and whatever to the room at midnight when we were going to bed. And we're on a honeymoon. I'm telling you, Bob, the pants that I took on my honeymoon did not fit when I got off the honeymoon. Like my clothes, I gained all of that 20 whatever pounds back on my honeymoon. So that's kind of where I
Right.
learned about low carb originally, was just from that weight loss that I experienced. Um, and back to the trigeminal neuralgia, it's the only time in my life I was ever depressed. And I would drive myself to the emergency room to get shots of morphine. Morphine
Ooh.
was the only thing that would take that pain away. And I remember, and my dad's in here watching, he could confirm this. One time I went in there by myself and they're like, thought I was like a drug addict or something. They're like, "You're just here to get
Yeah.
drugs." And I'm like, "No." I'm like, "I haven't slept in 2 years, and the only thing that will let me sleep is a shot of morphine." And I'm like, "I just wanna sleep for a day. I just want sleep, please, just." And they made me sit there for like 14 hours, and then they finally gave me the shot. So, then I think when I was like 30, in my 30s, I was diagnosed with high blood pressure, and it was 220
Wow.
over 110, and I had slid up the scale. Somehow I got up to like 260, 270. I was on my way to 300 pounds easy. I never quite got there, but I was becoming unhealthy. I also was diagnosed with sleep apnea. My AHI, if anybody knows the hypnapnea,
No.
hip hypoapneas, or however you say that, was 70 per hour. So I would stop breathing 70 times per hour, and that
Wow.
I went in for my sleep apnea test, and I was supposed to be there 2 nights. They stopped me after 1 hour and said, "We can't let you sleep. It's too dangerous." And I'm like, "What?" Like, "What do you mean? I sleep like this every night. How is it too dangerous?" And so they slapped the CPAP machine on me after the first hour. They woke me up. Um, then in 2013, I woke up one morning, just was sleeping in bed, woke up one morning and my hip hurt so bad. Nothing happened. I just slept wrong and I had this terrible hip pain, debilitating hip pain. And so I kind of waited a while. I'm like, oh, it'll go away. Well, it never went away. So I went and
No.
saw an orthopedic guy, and I had a labral tear in my left hip. Now you think, so I went and saw the doctor and he did surgery on that and fixed it. You would think that would be like a wake-up call saying, "I'm too heavy and I need to do something about this,"
Yeah.
right? Nope, he fixed it, put a Band-Aid on it again, and I was like, on my merry way. I'm like, "Okay, I'm just gonna, eat all the things," and I did not lose the weight. So I'm also a singer,
Oh, really?
and I'm a singer, and I was singing, with a group at Carnegie Hall, and I went to New York City, and I'd
Wow.
never been to New York City. Now, granted, I was still very obese at this point, and I had planned to do all these sites in New York City. The very first night my husband and I got there, but I didn't realize a New York City block isn't the same thing as a Mishawaka, Indiana block, right? I'm like, so I walked like 20 miles my first night there, and I stepped off a curb and I ruined my foot.
Wow.
So when I came home, guess what? I went and saw a foot surgeon. Guess what the foot surgeon recommended?
Carnivore. I mean, keto.
I mean,
No?
surgery.
Oh,
No,
surgery.
he
Sorry,
recommended
sorry.
surgery.
Of
Yeah,
course.
if you
Yeah.
go see a surgeon, they're going to tell you need to be operated on.
Of course.
So
Yeah.
I then had foot surgery, which was probably one of the worst surgeries I ever had. I don't recommend foot surgery. It's brutal. So I did that. And then in 2018, and there's a video, there's kind of a funny video. It's kind of a funny video. My security cameras caught all this on camera, but it wasn't funny in the sense that I was going out to change my hummingbird feeder because I love hummingbirds and I
Me
have
too.
feeders all over the place. And I walked face first into a spider web. And I did this spin and I fell in my yard. And I retore my labrum in my left hip.
Oh,
And so I gave it a few months and I'm like, maybe it just needs to heal, right? Maybe I just need to heal this. And no, I retore the labrum. I went back to the surgeon. And so I had my second left hip surgery and he patched me up. And then I was going through physical therapy for this and I was standing at the counter chopping a salad. And my hip popped and I about went to the floor, right?
wow.
So I retore the labrum again 7 weeks post-surgery.
Ooh.
Now, I kind of went a little forward before this when I was consulting the surgeon after my fall. This is back when they started doing the My chart on your medical stuff. And
Yeah.
the doctor had put his notes in and he had put in there, we talked extensively about weight loss. I got home and I pulled up my chart and I bawled, Bob. I cried. I don't know why he put in. I'm like, we never talked about weight loss. My doctor thinks I'm fat, basically, and I don't know why that struck a chord with me, but it did. And so I went back to this doctor and I said, give me 6 months. Give me 6 months. I know what to do. I know how to drop the weight. So I thought, I lost 30 pounds, whatever, 10 years ago. I know how to do it again. And you can probably relate to this because you knew what to
Yeah.
do when you started up again.
Yeah.
And so I started eating what I remember Atkins being. But the problem was I was eating a lot of grilled chicken breast and steamed broccoli. I wanted to die.
Yeah.
Like
It'll
it
make
was
you wanna die.
terrible. I felt horrible. I'm like, and my sister, my older sister, Janine, who's a marathon runner, she's amazing. She's very shy. She doesn't like to be on social media, but she's so cute and amazing. She's like, I'm like, Janine, I'm trying to lose weight and I'm eating grilled chicken and broccoli. And I can't do this. If I eat one more of these, I'm gonna I just can't.
Yeah.
So this was in about 2018. And she started sending me Dr. Berry videos. She started sending me Maria Emmerich
See?
videos. She
Yeah.
started sending me Carolyn Ketchum recipes. And I know we're carnivore now. I'm carnivore now, but back then my sister's been secretly successfully keto for 20 years and she's still keto and she's amazing. And so she was sending me and I'm like, you mean I can have protein lasagna on, I can have this. I can have, I was making like different recipes, right? And she saved my life really because I was able to put some variety into it and I did not feel like I was going to fall off. And I've never fallen off, not once, never.
Wow.
There was one incident where I cheated and I'll tell you about that in a little while. And it was the worst thing that ever happened to me, but so I had that surgery and then the surgery failed. And so I went to the surgeon and he's like, I can't help you anymore. I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm like, you need to patch me up again. I had this mentality that I needed to be fixed. He's like, but I got a guy in Chicago. I'm going to send you to Chicago to Rush Medical and I'm going to have you take a look at him. So I went and saw Dr. Shane No in Chicago. And this guy, again, had that cocky mentality. He's like, yep, I can fix you. And I'm like, cool. So he did another, and then we're getting into like 2019, 2020, and we all know what happened there, right? And he fixed me, and I continued to lose weight. So the first year, after all these surgeries, strangely enough, I had a meat aversion. And I couldn't eat beef for whatever reason, and I think it was the anesthesia. The only thing I could eat really was bacon and eggs, and so I
It's not
ate
terrible.
bacon and eggs for a whole year, and there would be a occasional salad in there, right? But I was on crutches for all of 2019, so I really couldn't cook.
Wow.
So I would just eat bacon and eggs every day, and I lost 60 pounds that year just on bacon and eggs. So even though I was still keto, I have all these carnivore beginnings, right? Carnivore
Yeah.
beginnings. And so that happened. Uh and still going through physical therapy, and then we know what happened in 2020. I don't need to describe it. But I felt amazing and had all this amazing energy until I didn't. And what happened in 2020 is, I like to call it the intervention. I got the intervention in my arm, and I had a severe reaction for 45 days. I couldn't breathe. My lungs filled up with fluid. I had a fever every night for 45 days. And I told my husband, literally, do not take me to the emergency room unless my lips are blue. If my lips are blue, you're allowed to call 911. And of course, nobody would see me because they're like, you have symptoms of the virus. And finally, after like 7 negative tests, I finally got my doctor convinced to see me, and he put me on several steroids. And that's finally what cleared up. But after that, Bob, I was sick every month and a half for 2 years. I caught the vid, I caught the flu, I caught RSV. If I was around anybody that was sick, any germ, I got sick every month and a half for 2 years. So whatever that was in that, that did not work well with me. And I did catch the virus 7 times. So I don't want to get political or anything, but that did not prevent
No, no, no.
the
I
virus.
100% understand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I talk to a lot of people
so,
every day, so I know. Yeah.
and it's important
They
in my
haven't they
journey.
haven't fooled anybody, Amy.
Yeah. Well,
The
and I
powers
did
that be
file out
that
a report
restrict
with
our
this.
talking about this, they haven't fooled anyone. I mean,
I'm s-
people know.
I filed a VAERS report, and it is 2026, and I've yet to hear back
You won't.
from the government about what I experienced, even though
You
I
won't.
filed a report, and I won't.
Yeah.
And it's fine,
No.
whatever. I learned my lesson. And so let's see. After that, I never quite got the energy that I had when I lost all the weight and felt great, right? And then I stalled, and I kind of wanted to do something more, okay? To break through my stall. And this is going to be controversial, and I've already taken heat for it, and it's fine. Bring it on, but it's part of my story, so I'm going to share it. But I've always been a fan of the Emmerichs, okay? And they were promoting several years ago this thing called protein sparing modified fasting, and it is not something they invented. Bodybuilders have been using it since the 80s to lean up, okay? So it kind of made sense. I started doing protein sparing modified fasting, not every day, 1 to 3 times a week as a fast, which is basically a pure protein, a high protein day, lower fat. It did break me through the stall, right? I felt great doing that. I lost 30 more pounds for a total of 110 pounds weight loss. And
That's great.
I will share this. This was me before,
Wow. That's impressive. Yeah.
almost at 300 pounds. And then this is me at my lowest. Okay. So that was my kind of progression pictures. So I stopped the protein sparing modified fasting, and guess what happened? Just like anything, I gained some of the weight back. So I did that for like another year or 2, and then I'm like, I'm going to go back on protein sparing modified fasting, and I did that in 2021, and I lost the weight again. And I'm about 5'9", almost 5'10". I kept down to about between 148 and 153 pounds for 4 years, just integrating some days. Now in 2023, I had a hysterectomy, okay? And I think that changed things for me because I think that set me in menopause a few years early.
Yeah.
And women know because they get the
Yeah.
hot flashes, they get some
Yeah.
things, And so this last spring, I had some stressful things going on. Things like we were having severe storms. Some trees fell into my parents' yard. They live next door. We had a tree almost fall and hit our house. In the same week, my brother had a work accident and sliced open his artery. So I
Ooh.
spent time, like, he's okay now, but at the time it was very serious. And then 2 days later, Dad, sorry if you're watching, but I'm gonna tell your kidney stone story. My dad ended up in the emergency room, and if you know anybody, if you've ever had a kidney stone, you don't know what it is at the time, but the person looks and acts like they're dying, okay? So that all happened in 1 week, all of those incidents. And
That's
one
crazy.
day the reason why that's important is because one day I woke up and I'm just like, I was paralyzed in my bed. I'm like, I can't move. My brain was telling my limbs to move, but I couldn't move my body. Like I was literally, I'm like, I'm not going to get out of bed this morning. I can't get
Wow.
out of bed. I can't physically move. I'm like, something's
Crazy.
wrong. Something is wrong.
Yeah.
Right. And so at that point, I'm like, okay, something's got to give. I got to try something. And what's the next step? I'm not going vegan, right? I'm not going vegan. I'm gonna try carnivore because I had been listening to Dr. Chafee, Dr. Berry, Dr. Kiltz. I just didn't feel like I needed to go carnivore because I felt pretty good for the most part. Not as good as I had felt, but I felt pretty good until last year. And I'm like, okay, something's wrong. So I went carnivore, like strict. And I mean strict that I cut out cheese. I was really only eating meat, eggs, and butter, salt. I did have coffee because I'm a coffee holic. So I did continue to drink the coffee. And I'm telling you, the way I describe it is you're walking down a hallway and the fatigue, like it's getting further and further away from you, right? And the fatigue is passing you and the energy is coming towards you. But it just felt like the fatigue was going down a hallway and I just felt better and better every day that I did it.
Yeah.
And after 2 weeks, I really noticed a difference. And so I did a 30-day experiment. I did a 30-day experiment. I'm like, I'm not going to commit to anything more than 30 days. And then 30 days turned into 60 days. 60 days turned into 90 days. And now I'm 9 months in, right? I'm 9 years into ketogenic and I'm 9 months into carnivore. So obviously
It's working. Yeah.
this it's working.
Yeah.
Um, and that's kind of like where I was. Now I did have to have another surgery last October for a hernia, but there are some conditions that even carnivore won't fix, and a hernia is one of them, right?
Right.
So, and then I had what was called the Great Cheese Incident of 2025. So I had been very strict on not eating cheese, but when you have surgery, they're always trying to put food in you, right?
Yeah.
They're always like, you got to eat something and you got to pee before you go and all this. I'm like, I'm not eating. I'm not eating. And they're like, well, how about some applesauce? I'm like, absolutely not. And they're like, well, there's no sugar added. I'm like, fine, but only one bite. I'm only taking one bite of this applesauce. So I did just to appease them. And then I got into this other recovery room, like, you need to eat. I'm like, I just had a bite of applesauce. And they're like, what about a cheese stick? I'm like, yeah, I'll take a cheese stick. And I was coming out of anesthesia. It wasn't really a fair fight, right? So they gave me this cheese stick, and I'm telling you, I have been battling on and off cheese. Cheese is like my thing that I can cut everything else, but cheese is like the hardest thing. And I'm telling you, everybody struggles. If anybody tells you that they're not struggling with something, they're not telling the truth.
No. No. But cheese.
And so,
Cheese is that's the number one thing. You got to get rid of cheese. I mean,
yeah, I know.
I'm sorry.
And
Yeah.
so and so I've gained about 25 pounds, but I was starting to kind of gain on keto too. Now, during this time, I got a new doctor. So I explained to the doctor, I'm like, look, I want a full thyroid panel done. I am not feeling great. Some things are going on that I can't explain. And so sure enough, because my sister's Hashimoto's. My sister has Hashimoto's, so I suspected that I was having issues. And sure enough, my TSH was elevated. I did not, and I was really impressed. He did all the reverse T3, the reverse T4. He tested for the two markers that will indicate Hashimoto's. Those were negative. So then they put me on, I asked for Armour, which is the desiccated thyroid medication. And that was a disaster. And the reason why that was a disaster was because carnivore, in my opinion, was already bringing my TSH down. It probably was much higher, but I had already been on carnivore for like 5 or 6 months. So I took the medication and it almost gave me a heart attack. Like, I did not need it. I think I should have just not even tried it and just I didn't realize my thyroid was normalizing. So I went back to the doctor. I'm like, this almost killed me. I almost had a heart attack. My blood pressure was in the it was like 220 over 180 or something like that when I took my blood pressure on that medication. And so I went back to him and we did another thyroid panel and it's all normal now. And
That's
I
good.
feel wonderful. Like, I feel great. And I'm not freaking out about the 20 pounds. Like you had said before we started this live stream, sometimes you get too thin. And in that picture I showed, I may have actually been a little too thin, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I was like a couple pounds from high school weight there.
Yeah.
So, um,
I do believe
so
that. I believe that. And I think I got way too thin the last time. I will not do that again this time. So, but it's just
and
it's
so
not good for you to be that thin. It's really not.
yeah.
Yeah.
hmm And so kind of the moral of the story with me is I've had 7 surgeries since like age 28. I feel like, and there's no way to prove this because we can't turn back the clock, but a lot of the pain that I had throughout my body was due to inflammation. And I feel like had I had stayed on Atkins or, whatever, I wouldn't have had all of the pain in different parts of my body. And I don't think I would have required all of the surgeries, even the trigeminal neuralgia surgery. I think that was all inflammation based. I mean, I can't prove it because we can't turn back the clock,
Yeah.
but it's my gut feeling and it's my story and that's what I believe and I know. So here's the interesting that happens. I told you I was going to tell you about my cheat. In 2021, so my sister-in-law died of non-alcoholic fatty liver disease or whatever they're calling it
Yeah.
these days, MASLD or what they keep changing the name. But she had type 2 diabetes. And this was all during, when lockdown and we weren't allowed to travel across state lines. And my husband and I traveled across state lines because we were going to say goodbye to her. She lived in Ohio. We knew it was the last time we were ever going to see her alive. And it was. And my husband almost got arrested at the nursing home because he wasn't allowed to go in and see her. And he said, I'm going to go say goodbye to my sister, whether you like it or not. And they called the cops. So he almost got arrested. We almost got a speeding ticket on the way home. We, there was just so many things that happened. And so on the way home, he's like, you want to go get a pizza and some breadsticks? And I'm like, yeah. And this was like 4 years into keto. So we stopped at our old favorite place and got a pizza and breadsticks. And I ate half of the pizza and half of the breadsticks. We devoured the whole thing between the two of us. And I'm telling you, Bob, within 3 or 4 days, my hip pain returned. I couldn't walk. The foot that I had surgery on was swollen and all these. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I cannot do this. I cannot touch gluten. I can't because I can't walk if I do. Right. So my eczema, my fingers started bleeding. The eczema that cleared up with keto came back and my fingers were bleeding. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's a gluten. So I know that I won't die if I eat it, but if I eat bad things, it causes such terrible inflammation that I cannot walk for weeks, like weeks. So I'm maybe blessed. That may be a blessing that
Yeah.
I flare up so bad, but that's kind of my story. Sorry, that was like 30 minutes.
That's good. I've learned a lot. there's a lot of issues, and I think you're right about the joint and all the problems that you had being caused from bad diet. I mean, really, I do think so. Of course, I'm not a doctor, folks, but it seems
Neither am
like
I.
yeah, it seems like that we see this constantly. Some people get it worse than others, and it sounded like you
Mhm.
did. But I my joint pain returned, immediately after I started not eating well again. The only thing that saved me, and of course I still got really fat, but is I never returned to some of my habits, even in the years when I was bad. I never returned to drinking soda. Never. I never allowed
Mhm.
sugar to be in the house. Not at all. Now, I'm not saying I never ate sugar. I never allowed certain things back into my life, and it really helped. And I always stayed away from seed oils. I knew I had read so much about it during the Butter Bob days. I was terrified of them, so I wouldn't touch them. But, I still did a lot of bad stuff, obviously, 'cause, here I am, but but, some things, you can get rid of just a few things and actually help yourself a little bit,
Mhm.
for most people. We got
And
some good
my
chats going
husband
on.
yeah, I'm looking for questions. So
Oh,
if you
okay, I
guys
saw
have a
one back a
question.
while back, but yeah.
So Carrie, well, actually, if you don't mind, he has been with me since the beginning of my channel.
Okay, yeah.
It's his birthday tomorrow, so I'd like to sing to him if you don't mind.
Yeah, sing
You
to him.
ready? Everybody,
Yeah.
everybody sing along with me. Happy birthday to you. Happy
Happy
birthday
birthday
to
to you. I can't sing.
Happy birthday, dear Carrie. Happy birthday to you.
Happy
So
birthday.
he's been and he likes to tell jokes. So he comes on my channel every week for 2 years and he tells jokes. So thank you, Carrie. I'm just looking for questions. Oh, so the other thing that happened to me during this time, and I know you probably have experienced this too. In 2020, so in 2021, I started getting text messages like 20 or 30 of them a day. And they're like, "What is going on with you? Do you have cancer?" First of all, because I got real skinny. They're like,
Yeah.
"Do you have cancer?" And then I'm like, "No." And they're like, "What did you do to lose all that weight?" And so I need your help. Can you help me? And so it was like getting to the point where I couldn't do my job because I was getting text messages and Facebook messages and 20 times a day. And I'm like, I can't respond to all these and hold a day job, right? So
Oh,
I
I know.
started a fa I started a private Facebook group called Keto Rock Stars. It's keto. And, and, like, people just started and I just started making posts, like, how to do this, videos, and I started going live. Like, I started going live every Sunday. I've been going live every Sunday at 7 p.m. for, like, 5 or 6 years.
Oh, wow.
Not on YouTube, but on social media, on Facebook,
Yeah.
in the private. And I would cook on screen. I would do a recipe and I would show people the stuff, right? And so that's kind of what I'm like, if I can help one person, and I know you've said this too, if I can just help one person, you know, figure this out, that is so important. So, um,
Did I freeze up?
so yeah,
Oh,
you did. I was like, is Bob
okay,
still there?
sorry.
No, you're good. So, I started that. Then in 2024, they've got this thing called Ketopalooza, right? In Louisville. And I saw that Dr. Barry was gonna be there and Maria Emmerich, which were 2 of my biggest heroes. And a girlfriend of mine had gone the year before. I'm like, "I gotta go to this. I gotta go to this." So I went. And I met so many amazing people. I got to meet Dr. Barry, my hero. I got to meet Maria Emmerich and in person and so many other amazing speakers. I got to meet Chris and Miriam Bear, Dustin, who's watching this, Dustin at Keto Simple, he's the one who told me about you, even though I'm like,
Thank
who's
you.
this Butter Bob guy? Because I hadn't started eating keto until 2018, and I think you left YouTube in 2016, right?
Yeah,
So,
somewhere in that
but
neighborhood, yeah.
Dustin would talk about you all the time. And so I met Dustin in person. And the funny thing is, I really wasn't on YouTube. I would just go on, I would only watch Dr. Barry and all the doctors, and I'd never chat. I didn't even know there was this community out here, right? I would just go for information for myself. And then I met all these people and they're like, you need a YouTube channel. I'm like, why do I need that? Why do I need a YouTube channel? And so they convinced me to go on social media more. And that's when I met this community. Like there's a community out here of all of us that hang out together, we talk to each other, we do all the stuff, and I was like, wow, this is not what I expected. Friends. I have friends that I'm going to several meetups this year. Jerry, Thomas, Peter, Papa Carnivore. There's so many people I met. And then this last summer, I always knew I wanted to be a health coach. I'm like, I want to work with people, but I don't feel comfortable doing it without a piece of paper that says I'm legit to do this, right? But I was looking into all of the places to become certified, like Primal Health Coach. Maria Emmerich has a program, and nothing struck out to me that it just I just didn't feel any of those programs were for me. And then Dr. Barry announced his PhD. I'm like, he's the man who saved my life, right? He's the man who saved my life. And sure enough, I'm like, I signed up immediately. And then Kiltz and Dr. Barry Kiltz came out with his the same week. And I'm like, well, I can't do 2 programs at once and work a full-time job and all this. And then something happened and I was interviewed on Kiltz's channel. And I told him that it's been a passion of mine to be able to work with people individually to help them fix,
I saw your short where you talked about that.
Yeah, live a better life. And in that, he's like, by the way, I'm admitting you into my program. I'm like, what? So now I'm a Kiltz health coach too. So I went through both the programs. I am on the Kiltz health coaching team. I work independently, and it is just amazing. It really is. It's just kind of taking off, but it's like a dream come true for me. And not everything is a straight path for every individual. And I know you had mentioned you kind of wanted to talk about this a little bit. Theoretically, cut the carbs, increase your fat, increase your protein. But in some cases, and I just talked to Dr. Barry about this yesterday personally, in some cases, you might have to tweak things individually for certain people. And some of us women, I don't want to say are unicorns, but I came to carnivore because everybody's like, just go carnivore. You can eat as much as you want and it's going to fix everything, right? Well, it does fix 95% of the things.
Yeah.
But if
depending on how long you've suffered, you might have a lot more going on than people think.
Yeah.
And by the way, I'm not.
I do.
I'm not a dogma guy. I never was back in the day. I'm not now. I'm an experiment guy. So if something works for you and it's working for you, I'm all for it. If you could eat 100 grams of carbs a day and be healthy, good for you. I do not think this diet is a religion. I have a religion. I have a God, and this is not it. But I do think it will help a lot of people. Will it help everyone? Maybe not. But cleaning up your diet will help everyone, but you may have to do it different than some other people. That's just the way it is.
Yeah, I apologize. This is my dad saying I talk too much. I apologize. It's okay.
That sounds like a dad thing to say.
Yes. And my mom and dad live next door. I moved back home almost in the same house, but in the house next door. So I love that I get to spend time with my parents. So so one interesting thing that happened on my journey since being carnivore, and I talk about this a lot, and I think there are some people who don't understand this, but I have been dealing with this hunger. And what I think is going on, because I have been suffering with menopause and I've been going through a thyroid issue, my leptin and ghrelin receptors are off. Okay. And I've heard about this from other carnivores. Kelly Hogan talks about this. Steak and Butter gal, she gained weight when she first went carnivore because the hormones are not regulated yet, and
Yeah.
it can take a long time. Carnivore Lance said it took him 18 months. Okay. So I believe this is what's happening with me. But for many, many months in class, we were tracking. Bob, I got up, and I know calories aren't a thing, but this is a reference point just to tell you how much I was eating. I was eating 6,000 calories, 300 grams of fat, and people are like, "You're not eating enough." I'm like, 300, like, would you want me to go up to 600 grams of fat? Because I feel like I could eat, like, I would eat a ribeye. I was eating 12 eggs a day. I was eating maybe 6 to 8 pieces of bacon a day. The amount of food I was eating, like, I'm like, I've never ate this much food in my life, but they say go on carnivore and you can eat as much as you want and you'll eat till you're full. Well, I was not getting full. And like I said, the reason why I think is because I think things are still regulating with those hormone issues that I confirmed that I have. So, um, it's not always a straight path, right? It's
Yeah,
not
but
always
you're
a
doing
straight.
something right because my experience, and I hope the ladies that are watching this thing will forgive me for being presumptuous since I'm a guy. My my experience throughout all the years is that women do not eat enough. So when a woman is really hungry and her body's telling her to eat and she actually does it and she's eating the good foods, I commend you. And yeah, maybe you gain a little weight back, but you look like you feel much better.
I
So,
do.
yeah, so weight, the scale, and all that is not the most important thing is to feel good and to be happy and have your mind fixed, your hormones fixed. That's more important than the weight, and I think the weight will come off later, as time, or maybe not. Maybe your body says, "I like this weight, and this is where I'm staying." That's fine too, if you're happy at the whatever weight you're at. I'm not happy at my weight right now, but,
So this is Jonathan, Carnivore Muscle. He's awesome. He's our friend from the UK. He says, "Why does Butter Bob seem like such a trustworthy gentleman?" Because he is, Jonathan.
Yeah.
I
It's just my
mean,
thing. I just try to speak the truth or not speak it at all. But truth is, from my perspective, so you may not agree with everything I say, but I, uh, I see it from that way.
okay, so here's a good one. This is from Lions Danivore podcast. Hi. He says, "Why
Yeah.
haven't physicians started implementing an elimination diet in order to properly diagnose GI issues instead of a colonoscopy? Why not start with the primary source of what is being ingested?" I mean,
There's no money in it. That's why. It's a simple answer. Simple.
and you know
There's
what
no
they're
money in it.
doing? You know what they're doing? I have a friend who is both her and her husband. Okay, think about this for a second. Both her and her husband have both been diagnosed with SIBO. SIBO, small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. They're putting them on these antibiotics to clear up the SIBO, but is anyone going through maybe what they're eating that is causing the SIBO, right?
But what's those
Is
antibiotics
anyone
gonna do to the good gut bacteria?
Mhm.
They're gonna kill
Yep,
them too, right?
yep.
The good ones.
So,
Yeah.
no, they're like Bob said, they're just writing a script for the things that, the pharmaceutical companies are telling them this is the Band-Aid, right?
I mean, in
And
in
yeah,
doctor's defense, I mean, a lot of them work for a group of some kind, you know, because they share the expenses and the
yeah.
liabilities. So they have to follow the group, and the group's there to make money. So, I mean, doctors have house payments and car payments just like all of us out here, credit cards, and they got to take a vacation every once in a while. But I would just quit the business though if I had to do that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, and this is a good one. Dustin says the "I need your help" text, and when you tell them, they're like, "Nah." I've had a few of those. Oh, and Mitch is in the house.
Hi, Mitch.
Hold on, I'm trying to get to his comment, but I don't know. This is my first time using StreamYard,
Oh, really?
believe it
You
or
use a
not.
different program? Hi,
I
Mitch.
do. I do, and it doesn't push to others' channels. So I'm actually using StreamYard for tonight. Let's see. I'm just looking for questions here. Wow, sorry, you are such a popular channel that there's so many. So many comments here.
Well,
So
I
put a
mean, there's a lot of subscribers on my channel, but I would say there's maybe a core of 5 to 10,000 that watch the videos, and the rest of them are just, they gave me a sympathy subscription, I guess. But I'm very proud of what we have there. Yeah.
yeah. So VT Shadow, he comes on your
Yeah.
panels a
Yeah.
lot,
Yeah.
and he says this community is far different than most of the want to lose weight, use X product groups. The family is literally about do what nature has done since creation. Again, it's like eat. Well, and my friends I go out to lunch with on Fridays, I go to lunch with a couple, and they're like, Amy's caveman diet. They're like, where are we going to lunch? Because, Amy's got to eat her caveman diet.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's what they call it. But yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
I interviewed, he goes by the nickname of Knuckles. I interviewed his daughter who
saw
actually had the
that.
opposite problem than most of us. She was starving and for various reasons, and she got on carnivore and was able to fix her body and put on some weight. It was a really interesting interview, and I really appreciate it. Yeah,
I saw her interview.
yeah,
Yes, it was
yeah,
very good.
yeah. Such a bright, shining young woman. Yeah,
So to go back to like a couple of points that were made about the gastrointestinal issues and also about people who might be struggling on keto. Now, I'm not worrying about it too much because I plateaued at about 174 pounds. I'm one of these women. I'm not afraid to share my weight, right?
yeah,
So I've gained about 20 pounds, but it's kind of leveled off, right? And I want
yeah.
to just continue to see because I'm not giving up on this, right? This is
Oh,
things are going too well and I'm feeling so much better. But the other
yeah,
thing that I think about I think about the stomach problems that people have. And I think really this is where tracking comes in, and they really need to do an elimination diet and take and what is the ultimate elimination diet?
meat and
Carnivore and
water.
and
Yeah,
even lion diet, yeah.
yeah,
And then you slowly add something back in, and then you see what the symptoms are, and then you build a green list. A green list is all the foods that you can eat. The, is it yellow list is foods yellow or orange are foods that you can eat occasionally, but they cause you problems. And then the red list, like for me, gluten, anything with gluten, even a seasoning, is going to cause me major problems. So everybody's got to build their own list, and everybody's different in respect to that. I know one lady, and she won't care if I say her name, Cindy DeMange. She says she can eat whatever she wants and she doesn't have one symptom. And she said it's terrible because she could go out and have an ice cream sundae or something and she won't get a side effect from it. Right. So,
but
and
I
then there's someone
wonder.
like me.
I'm not doubting what you said about gluten because everybody has this, but now I've never been outside the United States, but my kids have, and they're able to eat bread overseas. They just are. So is it the gluten or is it the poison that's being sprayed on our wheat and the genetically altered wheat that we have here in the United States? And I tend to think it's one of because human beings, for better or worse, have been eating bread for as long as there's been human civilization. Now, I know before civilization, maybe not, but so I wonder about that.
Okay.
I really do. Yeah.
I wonder about that too. And I have a
Yeah.
solution to find that out. All Amy has to go over to Europe
There you
and
go.
buy some of their clean whole food bread, right?
Yeah.
Well, there's another test. I have an Amish store. I have an Amish store within 30 miles from me. And I'm telling you, Bob, their bread that they bake it fresh. Well, there's still the pesticides on the wheat though, so
Of
that might
course.
not be a good test. But their bread molds in 3 days. I've done this and Dr. Nelson has done this where we've taken some hamburger buns and we put them away and it was 6 months for me before they molded. I would check them every so often. I mean, that should not happen. You should
Because
not be
it's
able to
not
put
food.
bread.
It just appears
Yeah,
to be
it's
food, but it's
frankenfood.
not food. Yeah, it's not really food. It just appears to be food.
Right. Frankenfood is what I call it.
That's
That's
exactly
frankenfood.
what it is. Yeah. Somebody's
And
got a thing
acrylic,
where they have a Big Mac that they've had for like 15 years. I think I saw it on YouTube one time.
it's so
Yeah.
gross.
Yeah.
Oh, and acrylic writer. Hi. QQQ Amy. After going.
This is the girl. This is the young lady.
Oh,
Yeah,
hi.
yeah, that,
Yeah.
I interviewed.
How long did it take for your health issues to die down or completely go away? Okay, so let's go back to keto first because keto cleared up a lot of my issues. Okay, so just being on a strict ketogenic diet, and I'm not talking about keto cookies, breads, uh, any of the packaged keto products. I'm talking about meat and veggies. Um, it probably took a little longer. Maybe, well, and you have to realize I was dealing with surgeries when I was going keto too. So my body was having a bunch of things going on, but within a year after going keto, like the inflammation in my hip, uh, sleep apnea was better, joint pain, my high blood pressure resolved within a year, just keto. Um, eczema gone. My allergies were so much better. Now, what I went carnivore for was because I was having all of these fatigue symptoms, right? Some things with menopause, some things with thyroid, what turned out to be thyroid issues. And I started feeling better in 2 weeks. In 2 weeks. Now,
Wow.
when I went on keto, I had a severe case of what they call the keto flu. But remember, I was eating grilled chicken and broccoli, like low fat, and I wasn't doing electrolytes. Um, Now when I went from keto to carnivore, I had no keto flu, no bad. I flipped the switch on that and there was no problems. Now I still, for whatever reason, I have to do 1 serving of electrolytes every day, okay? And I make my own electrolytes and I also buy the salty brand for when I travel, the unsweetened version. But I make my own because it's more economical. But I have to have at least 1 package of electrolytes and I salt my food. Like, I don't worry.
No.
I generously salt my food, but I still, in addition to that, have to have 1 package of electrolytes. Otherwise, I still wake up with leg cramps for whatever, even on carnivore. I don't know what it is. But I also suspect, and I don't know if this plays into like magnesium or anything. My sister has the MTHFR gene where you don't methylate like B and certain and I suspect I haven't been tested for that one yet. I probably should get tested. So I wonder if I don't methylate things appropriately in my body. So, but as long as I have 1 serving of electrolytes, I'm good to go. Now, if I forget to do that, then I'm getting up out of bed with a toe cramp or a calf cramp
Yeah.
and I don't know what it is. I don't know what it
I
is.
try to take something at least every other day, but if like right now when, I'm putting in a lot of hours every day and I'm on my feet a lot, I've been taking it
Yeah.
every day for the last week, and it because I don't wanna get up at 2 o'clock in the morning with a leg cramp. I don't want that, but I don't know
Yeah.
that I would, but I'm not gonna risk it, you know? Yep.
Uh Oh, this is Julie, Jemmett, whatever she goes by. Amy, with friends watching, can you talk menopause? I am not a menopause expert, but I will tell you, a year ago, I was having hot flashes so bad, right? I am a huge fan of Elizabeth Bright. Now, I kind of criticize her a little bit because Elizabeth Bright says you have to increase your fat. Fat is going to, help with menopause symptoms. And I can say my hot flashes, and really the only symptom I'm having that is bad is hot flashes, right? And I know, Bob, you don't understand what that is, but
Well,
it's, I
no, I
mean,
don't.
but I will say, since I have increased my fat intake, my hot flashes have reduced significantly. I was getting maybe 100 to 200 of them a day.
Ooh,
It was every other minute. It was awful. Now if I get 1 a day, right? If I get 1 a day, a lot of times they happen at night. And so 1 minute have the blankets on, 1 minute the blankets off. Now, Elizabeth Bright, and I haven't started doing this yet, but she says keep a little butter next to your bed and just eat that,
I've heard that.
or have a
Yeah.
pat of butter before have a pat of butter. But I'm working through this right now, right?
Yeah.
And that's why I'm not freaking out and I'm not reducing my fat significantly. The other thing that happened to me is I was losing a lot of hair. Now, I was on a medication. Now, I don't know if you can see this, but this hair, since I went carnivore, my hairstylist left for a while and she had a baby, right? And when she came back, it was when I was already carnivore. And she's like, what are you doing for your hair? And I'm like, this is going to sound ridiculous, but I'm eating nothing but meat and butter and salt and a little bit of, and my hair, which was so thin a year ago, is like, I can barely even get it in this hair clip thing that I go to sleep in, right? It's ridiculous thick. So if any women out there would do anything to grow their hair. Now, I'm sorry, Mitch, we've talked about this. Thomas, we've talked about this. I don't know that it will help you guys that, have lost their hair. But if any women are out there have thinning hair, I'm telling you, strict carnivore and increase eat a little fat, eat the fat. And that's the other thing. I grew up in the 90s, Bob. I grew up with the Susan powder, with the low fat, you're gonna eat your low fat yogurt. Yogurt. I would eat tuna, so that was a good thing. I would just eat tuna with nothing, just tuna out of a can. And then remember grape nuts? Remember
Yeah.
grape nuts? I would have grape nuts with skim milk because I thought that was healthy. And that's like eating ground up cardboard. It just is. Who wants to eat that? Like, who wants to eat ground up cardboard? And then in high school, I was doing the Slim Fast in the can because I was a competitive athlete on a state championship volleyball team, and my coach would make us run based on our weight. Well, back then I was 5'10" and I weighed like 135 to 145. That is skinny.
Yeah.
But I had 5'1" and 5'2" teammates that weighed 105 pounds, and we had to run based on our weight. And I hate running. I hate running to this day. You won't see me running ever. And I'm like, Mom, I hate running. I don't want to run after practice, but because I weigh more than the other girls, I have to run longer. So I'm like, I need to drop like 20 pounds. So I was drinking Slim Fast at like 16 years old to try to lose 20 pounds when I weighed between 135 pounds and 145. I mean, this was just ingrained in girls. And that's probably part of the reason why PSMF made sense to me, because that's low fat. And this is programmed in our brains that we can't eat fat, right? And it's really hard. I'm 50 years old. It's really hard to deprogram that. So when you guys are in people's live streams and there's a girl in there and she's talking about low fat, give her some grace and love, because those of us who grew up in the 80s and 90s, it's really hard to deprogram that, right? Really
Yeah.
hard.
Yeah. Pretty hard.
So, but the fat helps for sure.
Yeah. I never could stand a low fat diet. I just never could keep it.
And
Never.
you won't feel good on it either.
No one
It's a
does.
starvation diet.
Starvation.
And
Yeah.
yep. Yeah. That's what Bob was saying. Dustin says, I wonder if it's gluten in the glyphosates. And
Who knows?
that's the other reason I would recommend people who are still having symptoms on keto go to carnivore, because it could be the toxins that are being sprayed on the plants. And I am suspicious of any vegetable that is labeled organic. Now so what are they doing to not get the bugs on the organic vegetables, Bob? Like, are they not spraying organic vegetables with?
Well, they're maybe genetically engineering them so that certain bugs will not eat them. I don't know. We don't know. I mean, it's all a lie. I'm sorry. It's just a lie upon lie upon lie. And I'm hoping they're untangling some of it now, but there's so much money in the system that, folks, you just gonna have to do your own research and do it like Amy said, do an elimination diet. And then if you just add back a little bit at a time till you find your limit. Right now, I'm just
Mhm.
eliminating everything and I'm staying there. Now, what will happen once I'm Butter Bob again? I don't know. We'll see. But I'm gonna learn from my past mistakes. My past mistake is that
Mhm.
I ended up being too thin. And so I'm not going to do that this time. So, and I'm being a little bit more scientific about it this time. But I mean, I was last time too, but the science has improved, there's more now. And it's because people are sharing now. There's more people that's had stories. And there are people like yourself and others that have had a little problem keeping the party line. The party line didn't work for them. So we've had to learn and expand that we're all different. We have different needs and different problems, different genetic problems, maybe. And, you don't really know. And so find something that works. You may never understand the entire story for why it works. And if somebody
Right.
tells you, well, you're wrong, well, mind your own business. I'm going to do my thing. You're going to do your thing, you know. So that's a good thing. Yeah.
Well, and part of being for like people like you and me, you more than me because you're way more popular than me, but we were putting ourselves out here. And we're gonna get the nasty comments and the crazies and the people who have opposing viewpoints,
I
and
just delete them. Mitch gave me that. He said, "Just get rid of them," and I do. I just get rid of them. Now, if
I
they
don't
just
even do
disagree
that.
and they're nice about it, no, I don't get rid of those people. If they're just coming there to just, take a dump on my channel, they're out. I don't care.
Me
But used to, I thought, well, that's being bad. I shouldn't do that. Now I think it's such a joy to bounce them out. Life's too
I
short for
only
these people. If they take that much time to come in and just rain on your parade for no good reason, the heck with
yeah,
them.
I only blocked one because he was
Yeah.
creepy.
Yeah.
I don't do creepy,
I don't
like
block them. I just bounce their comment right off the channel.
yeah.
So they wasted all this time with their magic little typing fingers. And I go, and I take great
And the
joy in it too. I actually take joy in doing it. Thanks,
the other
Mitch.
ones
Thank you, Mitch.
yeah,
That's helped me tremendously. Yeah.
the other ones, I just politely say, "Thank you for watching."
Yeah. I
That's all I
don't.
say, "Thank you for watching,"
I don't.
so I
I
don't
got
even,
wrapped around the axle on this years ago, and I'm not gonna let these people take it away from me this time. No. They can go and rain on somebody else's parade, not mine. Because there's a million, 2 million, a billion channels on YouTube. They can find somewhere else or start their
yeah,
own. Hey, folks, if you're an expert, start your own channel. Let's see how good you do. You may do great. You might not.
right,
Yeah.
right,
It's harder
exactly.
than it's harder than people think it is, isn't it, Amy? Yeah, it's much harder.
So I wanna be a health coach. I do not wanna be an influencer, right?
Yeah.
YouTube is well, first of all, I hate filming videos, I hate editing them, I like being with the community. The live streams are fun, but YouTube is a ton of work, and I don't know how long you were on YouTube the first go around, and
Mm,
I thought about this question. I was gonna ask you for advice on how to be good at it, but then I thought about it. You went away for a while, and that's when your channel really blew up was
yeah.
so so I thought, well, his advice is gonna be leave for 10 years and come back.
No, my advice is just make as good a content as you're able to make, and it'll just eventually pay. It's like putting money in the stock market or in some kind of investment. And
Mhm.
that good thing, if there's anything good to it at all, it'll just grow on its own. Just like if you put your money in a good place where it can grow, but it's not going to grow fast unless, I mean, there's some people that are just, they grow fast. That's just what they do. I mean, you could put up a cat video or something and make a lot more money than you can making, videos like we make. But
Right.
yeah, I think the channel grew. My channel grew because there was some good content there, not maybe not all, and it was sure not slick. And that may have been another thing too. I see a lot of slick videos online where everything is it's done so slickly, and but I know that's not a word, but it is to me.
Know
But
what you mean.
if it's slick, but there's not anything there that's genuine, it's a flash, and yeah, it may get a lot of views right now, but 5 years from now it'll be 100% forgotten about. So I don't as that I'm not trying to pat myself on the back, but if I watch a video on any topic and that is something that's real there, someone has put something real, and I watch stuff a lot more than just diet stuff. I'm interested in
Right.
religion, I'm interested in philosophy, I'm interested in history. But people who put out the good content, even if it's not getting a lot of views at first, that video will be around for years and years and years, and people will share that video. So do good and forget about numbers. Numbers will take care of themselves eventually. And believe me, anybody that's out there in internet land, if you think you're coming on YouTube to make money, you may make a few bucks. You're not going to make money on YouTube. You need to find
Oh,
something else to make money at. So if you're coming on here to make money, you can forget it. Maybe 1/10 of 1% of people that come on YouTube is going to make more than minimum wage. So just go get a job at McDonald's and flip hamburgers. You'll make a heck of a lot of money more money as a part-time job. Do it for the love of others. That's what you should do this job for. And if you content because you love people and you want to share your joy and share their joy, then you're doing something good. I mean, that's it.
well,
I don't know what
and
else to tell you. Yeah.
to add to that, when I first started going on social media, like 5 years ago or 6 years ago or whenever in 2021, I felt like I had to be perfect. And that if I didn't have setbacks, I was living a lie, right? Well, I've come to realize that we're humans. I ate that pizza in whatever 2020 or 2021, and it was okay to talk. It's okay to talk about it and let people know I'm human, and that I don't have to be perfect, because I was afraid people would say, "Well, see, this lifestyle doesn't work because Amy ate a pizza." And so I was so worried about that. But you need to be authentic. You need to be yourself. Don't try to be somebody you're not. And one thing I will never ever do, and I don't fault people for doing this, and a lot of the big creators do, because they are making money on YouTube and they have to chase the algorithm, right? Is you're not going to see me making some clickbaity thing about GLP-1s or, whatever the latest health fad is. Um, Now I'll talk about topics I'm interested in, right? I'm giving a presentation on Tuesday in the Kilts group about non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, because that's important to me, because my sister-in-law died of that. So I will talk about health topics that are important to me, but you're not going to see me chasing the latest praise to get clicks. And I really don't care if that hurts my channel or not. I really don't care. Just be
Yeah.
yourself. Just be yourself, and the people that are meant to come to you will find you. And it's like grandma. Grandma's coming on Wednesday, your channel, right?
No, I love her. I
So,
love her so much. I don't know if she's in the comments tonight or not.
grandma, if you're here,
I
we
didn't
love
know
you.
anything about her channel. And after she made that song for my channel, I just went over there and started watching her walking videos. I fell in love with her immediately because she is real. So she's making content that is real. I mean, really real. And she lets it all hang out. Let me tell you. I mean, she's braver than I am by far, because she'll tell. She tells the down and dirty. And I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't
I
have
met
time, Grandma.
grandma
I'm
last
sorry. I don't
summer.
have time to watch your live streams. I just don't have time for that. It's no offense, and glory to you and for your crew, but I don't have time to watch it. I'm sorry. If you did clips of it, I would watch them. But I
Oh,
love
she
your
did a
walking
clip.
videos. Yeah.
She did a clip the other day, you gotta go check out. Did you see
All
the
right.
Siri one? So
Mm.
she is, in some regards, I love you, grandma, but you're a little tech challenged, right? And so
Oh,
she was trying
all
to
of us.
in her
She's my age. Yeah. Go ahead.
she was trying to talk to Siri on her iPhone, and she kept calling it Sherry. Hey Sherry, hey Siri. She couldn't say it right, and she did clip that into 2 little shorts, and it is the funniest thing ever. I mean, she is
Yeah,
so sweet. She's
she
so
is.
sweet. I love, and I'm gonna meet her. I get a chance to meet her at Keto Palooza this year in October, so we're gonna be hanging out. She is just a sweetheart. I love her, and
Yeah.
she's so much fun and so inspiring. I mean, the woman, when I first found her last summer, she couldn't even walk to the end of her driveway, right? She couldn't even make it to the end of her driveway. And now she's walking miles, like to the grocery store and stuff. So if you guys have not checked her out, it's Grandma's Crochet Corner with a K. Grandma's Crochet, CROCHET, and then corner with a K. She's awesome. She's so sweet. And we got another question here from Danivore. Being in healthcare system for over 23 years, people can't accept my transformation through carnivore. Though, had I been on GLP-1s, they wouldn't bat an eye. You know, my doctor wants to put me on a GLP-1, my new doctor, for 20 pounds. For 20 pounds, I weigh 174 pounds. I'm almost 5'10". I mean, that's a ugh, ugh.
And a lot of them get vacations, they get
Kickbacks.
trips, they get kickbacks for this stuff, and they should have to disclose it. You know, if you're on YouTube and you're doing some kind of a deal with a company, you have to disclose
You have
that,
to disclose it. Yep.
but they don't. Why? Their
I don't know.
lobby's more powerful than ours. We don't have a lobby. Yep.
Yeah. That
Yeah.
I mean, that's a
Yeah,
good point.
years ago when I did Butter Bob and I had gotten thin, there was a rumor that went around at the place I worked. Bob's on drugs. Bob's on drugs. Yeah, I was called to
So
the office over it. People are saying you're on drugs, but I wasn't. So they can't believe it. If you do something without the normal, then people automatically have to talk, you know? It's what they like to do. Don't forget
this
the
is
tall
my
woman.
brother making fun of my big hair that I have 10 pounds of hair. So he's like, give myself some grace for the 10 pounds of hair that I have. If I
Yeah.
cut my hair, do you think I would lose 10 pounds?
I wouldn't. I wouldn't do it.
I'm looking for more questions. Oh, wait, here. Oh, here we go. Why is it not popping up? Show. VT Shadow, QQQ Amy, it's potassium. Keto and carnivore cause you to dump potassium and salt, even if you supplement No, I have electrolytes with potassium, salt, and magnesium in them. If I don't take that mix, if I don't take that mix, I get, yeah, for sure. And what's weird is though you would think some people report after so many years that they don't need to take them anymore. I think Dr. Sean Baker doesn't even use salt. So Dr. Baker, Dr. Chafee doesn't even use salt anymore, as a matter of fact, but I still need it. I still need it for whatever reason. I still need probably all of them, if not and so I am now completely off migraine medications, and I've had migraine since age 13. And if I start getting a headache, I take extra electrolytes because of the magnesium helps with migraines. So this is not medical advice. This is just what I do for my personal migraines, but magnesium seems to help me with those. So sorry,
Grandma is here. Grandma Barb is here. I saw her in the chats way down below at the very end.
yeah. Oh my gosh. There's like over 130 people watching. Sorry, I'm trying to find comments. Any other question? Organics still have heavy metals, Carrie says. And that brings up a good point. The latest controversy about the salt. What do you think about that, Bob? Have you done any research?
I'm not going there.
I'm
not going there.
I'm still using
Yeah.
the Redmond salt.
I don't want to wade into that issue. I learned some stuff, Amy, the first time I was here. I learned some stuff. And this world that we're in right here is just as political as the Democrats and the Republicans fighting each other. I mean, and I'm not talking about politics, but there is camps, you know, and it gets to be religious. And okay, I'm right. Like I'm right about how much electrolytes you have to take. I'm right about the proportion of fat you have to take. I'm right about that carbs kill you. I'm right about all these things. I'm not saying I'm right. I'm saying people take a side.
Right.
And instead of doing some experiments or listening to somebody, they just take the party line and they'll walk with it till their grave. Instead of saying, "Boy, this is not working for me." Yeah, maybe it worked for Bob, but it didn't work for me. And so I'm on the side of the real world. I take if something doesn't work for me, I do an experiment. And I don't care what the dogma is, and I don't care if 1,000 people unsubscribe from my channel. I'm just going to tell the truth. I don't care. I'm not making a living on YouTube anyway. I make a living right here. So I'm going to tell the truth. And the party line people can go fight somewhere else. I don't care. I know that sounds
Yeah.
like a bad attitude, but this is the
No.
new improved Bob, not the Bob from years ago where I had to worry about. I don't worry about that stuff at all. Not at all.
I'm not worrying
Totally
about it
fine.
either, and I'm
No.
I'm I'm still using a salt that
Yeah.
that I have. It's good.
Yeah. I don't use Morton's
Um,
anymore. I do use a sea salt just because it tastes better, actually, I think.
Mhm.
But I'm not doing the sorry, folks. I'm not buying into any of that stuff. And guess what?
I'm
We're
not
gonna
either
die
really,
of
and
something sometime. Lord, I hope the Lord God in heaven will give me 20 to 25 more
I
years. But if he doesn't, I'm fine with it too. I want to live as healthy as I can, whether it's 15 minutes or 15 years. And I'm not going to worry about the little things because my salt's not going to kill me. But eating Cheerios will. Sorry. Did you freeze up, Amy? Uh-oh, Amy froze up on us. Or
I
me? Did you freeze?
Elizabeth Al eating cow reduced my
Uh-oh.
eggs a little bit. I've reduced my food.
We're, we're losing Amy. I'll try to fill in the dead space. I'm sure she'll be back in just a minute, folks. Yeah, my rant knocked her off the line, I think. Sorry, folks. I'm prone to ranting because I don't have patience with people who are doctrinaire. I just don't have patience with them, and not because they may be right or wrong. It's just because they don't know if they're right or wrong. They know that if they're right or wrong for themselves sometimes, but not for me and you. So take their advice and listen to them. Run an experiment. If it works, good. And if it doesn't work, that's okay too. But don't fall for all this propaganda that you hear about someone's very right and someone's very wrong. I think we've lost Amy. Maybe she's going to come back in just a second. Yeah. We'll see what's going on. See if we can find any questions while we're waiting on Amy to come back. Anybody got a question while we're waiting on Amy to get back in? Oh, I see several people that have been on my channel before. Papa Carnivore. Movie Goats. That was a good interview. Charge more par. Rick. Yeah. Hi. Hi, Acrylic Writer. Yep. Mitch is in here. Is my background real? No, it's AI, folks. This is a green screen behind me. It's the only way I can do this because I don't want everything that's on the wall in this room where I'm at to be broadcast over the internet. So I have a green screen and all my private pictures and things that are on my wall are just for me. Yeah. So, yeah, but I like it. It makes it very easy. I can just set up the green screen. I can go live. I don't have to worry about doing all that kind of stuff. Ah, we got Amy back.
I
Oh,
lost internet.
yeah, we're back. I was trying to just ramble on while you were going.
You're a pro. I'm sure you did fine.
I don't know if I'm a pro, but I do talk to people nonstop all day, every day in my business. So I know how to talk to people. But that,
Uh,
I thought maybe my rant knocked your internet out.
maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, so I don't think I'm still eating six, but one of my things that I'm going to do eventually here, start tracking again just to see where I'm at, okay? Because the weight gain has plateaued. So I'm not gaining any weight, I'm not losing any either. I'm fine with it. Um, I've kind of not been tracking because again, I have deep down in my brain, I have that low fat mentality. And if, I will be tempted to tweak it down again if I start tracking. So I just want to heal and I want my hormones to heal and I want to feel good. So I'm not that concerned about it. But I did reduce my eggs from 12 like down to 8 every day. So I'm only eating 8 eggs every day, but I love them. I'm not going to stop eating them. Right. And I'm not snacking right now. So like, and I don't want to say snacking, but I have this problem late at night. I'm always working, working, working. I work my day job and then I come home and I work for the coaching business. And then I'm like, I should be going to bed and I'm not. And then I work on something stressful and then I get hungry and then bacon accidentally falls into my mouth like at 10 o'clock at night. Right. So, but I
Hasn't hurt
haven't
you, has
been,
it? It hasn't hurt you,
I
has
mean,
it?
I was gaining weight. So it could have been and it could have been the late night eating, really, even carnivore foods, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So I try to fast, but because the leptin and ghrelin is so screwed up, and then the stress, I'm working on stress, right? Which is a huge challenge for me. It seems like when I tackle one thing, something else happens. So we talk about going out and getting sunlight, getting exercise, going for walks, like Bob and his son do. I am getting on the treadmill. I now have a stationary bike. We've had snow here in northern Indiana from October till about like 3 weeks ago. It has
Ugh,
been the most brutal winter, 90 inches of snow. So I'm sorry for the people who say even in the winter go out and get sunlight. When it's 20 below zero, you ain't going out and looking towards the sun. You just aren't. You're gonna,
no, but I
you
live in
know,
Tennessee, so we don't have that, thank God. The lowest it gets here is 0, and that's only maybe every other year. Yeah, yeah.
Juju. So this comment. I do take vitamins. I will not recommend vitamins for anyone else. I don't think, first of all, as a health coach, recommending vitamins is prescriptive. Like Bob said, everybody has to do their own N=1 with this one and just do your own thing. The electrolytes I have to take. It is a thing I have to take, which we know is magnesium, potassium, salt. I do take some vitamin D3K2 because I'm like a vampire and you look at my skin, I'm very pale. I don't get enough sun. So I do take that one. I have taken some B vitamins because I did test low for B vitamins. And so my doctor put me on some B vitamins. I don't take as much of them anymore. Um, I don't even want to talk about this. I am taking a little bit of berberine right now. Okay. Um, And I talked about this with Jonathan yesterday, just to help with the hunger a little bit. Uh, it's I don't really even wanna go
Uh-oh.
much
There
because,
you're breaking up a little, Amy.
for others, it's just something that I'm doing. I don't Are we losing me again? Am I back?
Yeah, or me, I don't but it sounded like it was you, I
I'm
don't
not
know.
having It could be Comcast has been messing with our internet lately, but I'm not gonna recommend any vitamins. I don't know if you wanna tackle this one, Bob. Everyone
No,
has to do their
I
own
don't do
thing.
that. I don't recommend that. We're all so different, and I don't think it's a one-stop shop, guys. If you go to the doctor and you're diagnosed with a vitamin deficiency of some kind, yeah, that's a good time to start doing that. But uh, you could start with some of the vitamins, that there's widespread deficiencies in the whatever country you're watching this from. If you have deficiencies in those, that might be some place to start. but I don't recommend that. No,
Mhm.
I mean I don't recommend against it. I just don't make a recommendation on that at all. Yeah,
I don't either.
yeah. I'm gonna
And
leave
I
that
take
to the
iodine.
doctors. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
don't, but yeah.
I do take iodine. Um, so this is a really good one. I don't know if this ever happened to you, but you ever tried any processed foods after you went carnivore and got sick? Like your body hates processed foods now after you went carnivore. So I have felt like I have gotten inflamed from just eating meat. Now, ground beef is a processed food. Processed foods can be anything that goes through any sort of processing, right? And Dustin has talked about this ad nauseum, especially with meat, that if you read a package, do you know they are now putting natural flavors in ground beef? Some ground beef. Like if you go to Walmart and you get a package of ground beef, it could say natural flavors on it. They are adding things to it to make it stay fresher longer, whatever. We don't know what that is. Okay. So I'm probably a really good candidate for Lion Diet, but my pocketbook cannot afford ribeyes every day. So I
No,
buy pork, I buy bacon as a processed food, right?
yeah.
Um, uh, I don't eat a whole lot of like I don't eat a whole lot of like what do you call it? Like meats, the deli meats or stuff like that.
No,
I'm eating
no.
like hamburger, pork roasts. I will have salmon and fish and shrimp and things that I cook in butter. Ribeyes. I do have ribeyes, but they're expensive, so I can't eat those every day. I eat my favorite is chuck roast. I eat a lot of chuck roasts
It's
that are
great.
braised
Slow
in a
cook.
skillet.
Oh, you do it in
Um,
a skillet.
I
Yeah, I slow cook it. Yeah, it's
I
really good.
slow cook it in the oven. I work from home most days. I do work in IT, so I'm lucky to work at home. I would put it in a slow cooker, but because I work from home, I can throw it in a cast iron skillet with a little water and a little bacon grease. I brown it before I do that, and then I cook it for 3 hours while I'm working.
It's
So,
good.
that's one of my favorite meals. I love pork belly. I love pork belly again in the oven and then fry it in its own grease in the skillet. That's another one of my favorites. So I I feel my best when I eat beef. I feel my best when I eat straight beef. Everyone's
I
like,
like
"You should cut out the egg whites."
I try well, I mean, you can do an experiment. There again, there we go. Try an experiment. If it works for
Yeah.
you, good, and if it doesn't, disregard their suggestion. But I tried some, lamb, lamb belly, or is that what they call it? Lamb?
Shit, I think
It's the bottom rib part. It was
yeah, I don't
good.
know. I don't know the different parts.
I slow cooked it. It was really good. Just a little bit greasy for my taste, but it was really good. I mean, it had more flavor than chuck roast. It's just a little greasy, and it may have been the way I did it. I mean, I don't mind it to be a little greasy, but it was a little too greasy. Yeah. It was delicious though. I've never eaten lamb in my life. Ever, never, never, not one time until I
I had
tried
it
that.
once
Yeah.
at a restaurant, and I had lamb chops, and they were overcooked, and it was like 2 bites, and I'm like, "I'm still hungry."
Yeah.
And so my boss just cooked lamb a week ago, and she says, "Amy, it's the most amazing thing." So I need to go get some lamb, a lamb roast or lamb shank or something
Yeah, it's
and
the
slow
thing with the
roast it
bones
and
in it there's a name for it, but I can't
yeah.
remember. And it's good. You slow cook it. It's actually pretty good, but just a little bit greasy for my taste. So
So I got a couple of things that I've been wanting to make a video on, that I bought. I bought a cow tongue. My sister said it's amazing, but,
yeah, I'm sure
it
it is.
looks like a tongue, and I had a hard time even putting it in the cart at the grocery store, and you have to cut the skin on the outside, so I'm like, I'm wanna try this, and then I bought some oxtail because 'cause I've never had oxtail, so I wanna make oxtail, so those are the 2, like, things that I bought that I've never had that are a little controversial that I'm
No,
going
I
to
just
try.
sounds gross, but no, it's not controversial. Is it?
I don't know, I mean,
Oh,
tongue, like That
People eat
and I wanna
people
try
eat grains
spam.
and they eat. I mean, back
I
when
don't
I
know if
was
I could do
young,
grain.
people ate certain parts of a pig that we won't mention.
Rocky Mountain oysters on a
Yeah,
cow. Have you
they
ever
did
had
it.
those?
No.
Did you do
No, I never ate it. No.
would
But
you?
people no. I just eat the straight. I'm very picky. I eat the straight muscle meat. That's what I eat. I don't want any
Yeah.
organs whatsoever. Never again. Never ever. I'm sorry.
You don't no beef liver? You don't eat beef liver?
No, I'm not eating that nasty stuff. Now, Todd, when I interviewed him, he said to
Mhm.
freeze some and put it on a little pot, but I haven't. I've never done it. I'm so busy right now. But maybe I will try it.
Yeah.
But to me, I don't know of anything that is more gross than liver. I mean, it is
I
disgusting. It tastes
I
like you ever cut your finger and you do that? Tastes like blood. No, I don't want that. That's
that's
so nasty.
awesome.
I'm sorry.
I like
And I'll tell
it.
you something else,
I
folks.
like
I hear
it.
all these people eating venison. No, I've never, ever in my life had a piece of deer that tasted like anything but disgusting mess. I will never eat it. Oh, you didn't cook it right. No, it sucks. You just have trained yourself to think it's good. No, it's awful. It's terrible. I hate every minute of it. Uh-oh. Amy's froze again.
Yes. Yeah, I have liver burgers I have liver burgers at least once a month, and what I do is I grind the liver and I put it in with a couple pounds of hamburger and I make hamburger patties and then I pre-cook them and freeze them and then I take them to work and I really like it. But it's
That's
not as
good.
strong when you mix it with ground beef, but it's mostly just to get the nutrients, because they say it's really good for you.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Yeah. Kelly Broken Carnivore or Missouri Carnivore, he changed his name. I've been using Redmond's real salt for 5 years and it hasn't killed me yet. Exactly. I will be more worried about eating Lucky Charms that has a teaspoon in it that's a carcinogen cleaner. Exactly. And you know what? The 2 Crazy Ketos had a really good video on this. There is lead in almost everything. Okay? There's trace amounts of lead in almost everything. So this is just like those topics that I said I'll never chase
No,
just
no,
to
no.
get clicks and likes. I think that this is one of them, honestly, in my opinion, and that's my personal opinion.
Yeah. I'm not putting
Uh,
anybody down that does have a problem with a certain product. That's fine. And they can make content all they want. I'm just not wading
right.
into that. You know, I was the guy who got in trouble because I told people to go to Walmart and get healthy, years ago. Because most people can't afford, they can't afford to pay 60 and $70 for salt. Sorry, they just
No,
cannot do it.
no,
They cannot eat ribeyes every day because they don't have the money to do that. But it's okay,
right.
folks. You can get healthy eating hot dogs. I mean, I don't eat hot dogs, but if it's all the money I had, I'd go get a all beef hot dog that has a bunch of fillers and terrible things in it, and I'd get healthy on it. I really would, and I wouldn't be ashamed of it at all.
Yeah. Tammy says, I lately have noticed that my sugar level has been dropping. Why would that be? If you're eating low carb carnivore, that's going to my blood sugar ranges, and I claimed for years I've never peed on a stick. I've never tested my blood. You don't have to pay for keto monitors. And it wasn't until I became a health coach. I'm like, maybe I should, for data purposes, see what certain things do. Right. So Juliet had an extra keto monitor. So I got it and I pricked my finger and my glucose ranges anywhere from mid 50s to 90, depending on what I eat, right? I just did it to teach myself a little bit about this, but for 8 years, I never pricked my finger, peed on a stick or anything like that. You don't require that. It's not required. But, if you are and 50 is low. 50 is a low glucose, but I have been fat adapted for years, even on keto. So your blood sugar could be dropping as long as you're feeling good. As long as you're feeling okay, I don't know what your numbers get down to, but as long as you're feeling good, That's the most important thing. So, I'm not gonna tell the story, but, I was at the hospital all day Friday. I'm just gonna throw it at that, and I thought I was only gonna be there for a few hours, and I ended up being there all day, and I didn't take any food with me. I took coffee, and that was it. And, I ended up not eating all day until 6 or 7 PM, and I really should have probably just fasted for 24 hours at that point, right, and just gone to bed. But there was a little bit of stress involved. I'm like, "I'm gonna have 1 meal today." And I told another family member that I didn't eat all day, and they freaked out. They're like, "Don't you feel shaky? Don't you feel like you're gonna pass out?" I'm like, "Actually, I feel really good." Like, I feel really good, like, I don't need to eat. I am hungry, but I feel like I could just go to bed and not eat until the next day. Once you become fat adapted, when you fast, either on accident or, because lack of food, you don't get the shakes. You don't feel like you're gonna pass out. And I
No.
don't know if you're into fasting at all,
Yeah.
Bob, if you do
Yeah.
fasting?
Yeah. I do anywhere from 12 to 18 hours, depending. I'm doing a little experiment now, which I'm not gonna talk about too much right now, where I've changed my eating times a little bit. I'll have something more about it later, but I'm doing a pretty good experiment right now, but I'm still getting at least 12, sometimes 14 hours of fasting in every single day. So, and sometimes longer, depending on how busy I am. Maybe I don't have time to eat. But I'm always doing an experiment, Amy. This is what I do. I take something and I test it. And that's how I work. That's how I roll.
That's great because
Yeah.
then you're learning for yourself,
Yeah.
and, if something works for you, chances are it might work for somebody else too,
Well,
right?
here's the thing, and this is something that is talked about, but I don't think it's emphasized enough in our world. There's a difference between a 62-year-old man and a, say, 40 or 30-year-old man, and the same for women. Our age
Mhm.
has a lot to do with things. And so as we get older, we have to do some things differently. That doesn't mean we're wrong or right or breaking anything, but I have found, and I'll go into much more detail on this when my protein video finally comes out. Older people need to eat more protein. We need to eat at
They
least
do.
double the RDA of protein, and we need to eat it in 2 big meals. I mean, that's what we need to do every day, 2 big protein meals. I'm sorry, that's gonna go against the grain with some people, but I'm sorry, with us old people, we can't afford to lose muscle while we're losing this weight. We can't, folks. Not when you're 62, not when you're 72. You must be able to keep your muscle. So you've gotta
Mhm.
exercise and you've gotta get plenty of protein. Now, I'm not talking about eating 6,000 calories of protein. I'm talking about just upping it to maybe 75, 0.75, 0.80, and trying to get up there, and you need to eat it not nibble, 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 but in a good meal and a good meal because that's what we need when we're older. Now, a 20-year-old, they can do whatever they want because their body is not it's not they're not risking losing muscle mass like we are at 62, 72, 82. So I know that sounds like it's going off the reservation to some people. Sorry. I mean, if you want to be feeble, like I see customers at my place all the time that are very feeble and can't hardly stand up, can't hold their body straight anymore. Just keep on dieting and cutting that calories down to nothing and lose all your weight. About 50% of what you're losing will be muscles, and you're going to end up in a lot worse shape than you were when you were fat. I'm sorry, folks.
Absolutely.
That's just the truth.
Absolutely.
And somebody has to say it, and I'm just going to be the one that says it. So I'm
So I have
sure
a
other people
question for
do,
you
but I'm
then.
going to say it. Huh? Do
If
what?
you're paying attention if you're paying attention to your protein so much, right?
Yeah.
And are you and maybe you don't answer this because maybe
No,
this is
I'll
part of
answer
your
whatever you
video.
want to say. Yeah.
Are you tracking to see where your level because obviously
Yes.
people don't really
Yes.
know
Yes.
what do you
Yes.
use to track? Do you have anything specific that you use
I
to
just do
track?
the calculations, or I'll go on Grok or Chat, and I'll say, "How much is this?" and give me the raw weight and the I mean, that's the best way to do it. I also have a little scale that I can weigh things on, but I'm not weighing every single thing. that I'm doing
Right.
because I don't want to get wrapped around the axle on this stuff. But because I'm doing an experiment, I'm trying to calculate as close as I can to it. Now, I don't recommend that to other people. And also, just so you know, so people don't get the wrong idea, I'm still eating a very high fat diet because I'm eating real foods and because, if you eat the foods we're supposed to eat, it's going to have a high percentage of fat. But what
Mhm.
people do is this diet works so good that your appetite goes to nothing, except for Amy. It goes to nothing. And I'm sorry, folks, if you're above the age of 50 and you're sitting there eating one meal a day and you do the calculations and you're not getting enough protein, and just
It's
do the
not enough.
calculations one time, you are hurting yourself much more than being fat. I'm sorry, folks, because when you lose that muscle and it's very difficult to get it back the older you get, you're setting yourself up for a big problem when you're 75, when you're 85. I mean, you're setting yourself up for a really big problem. So, protein, guys, I'm sorry.
Well, and
Protein.
I feel like I've atrophied a lot, so maybe I
Yeah,
should start tracking up
yeah,
because
yeah,
when I was 38 and I was almost 300 pounds, I could do a plank
yeah,
for 8 minutes.
yeah.
Bob, I've been trying to plank. I'm 50 years old now, right? I've been trying to plank. I could barely make a minute. My arms and my core is so atrophied. I'm like, "Oh, I need to really get I need to really start working
Yeah.
these muscles because it
Well,
doesn't get any easier."
I'm not speaking out of turn because I'm getting this from people that are way smarter than me. But in order to get your muscle to be in an anabolic state, a state where your muscle is being built by your body, when you're 20 years old, maybe 10, 20 grams will do that for you in a meal. It turns on the system that gets your muscles going. But when you hit 50, 60, you got to get 35 to 40 grams of protein at one meal to turn that system back on because we are resistant to it and our muscles are resistant. And I'm telling you, folks, when I was on Butter Bob years ago, uh, I lost all that weight, but I lost a lot of my strength and I've never fully regained it. I mean, I really haven't. But, I'm getting older, so it's obvious that we're going, we're not as strong. Most of us is not as strong
Mhm.
as we were when we were young. But I can tell it, and I'm not going to do that this time. I refuse to do it. But I'm still going to lose weight. I'm still going to be on because I know these foods are good. But folks, I when I first went on this diet in January, and I was doing it basically the way that I had always done it. Uh, I I felt good for a pretty good while. And then I just started feeling bad. And I've talked about this on my channel several times. And Todd brought this up, and said, Todd Bachnas, and said, Bob, you're not eating enough. I mean, he just did the calculations
I
and,
heard
and,
that.
and yeah. And so I have been on a mission since then to understand because I just took his word for it. I did it and I felt much better almost immediately within a couple days and I'm still losing weight. My mind's back uh, focused again. Everything's good again. I mean, I'm exhausted from working so hard because I'm in a very busy season in my real life business,
Mhm.
but I've got the energy that I haven't had in years. So this works for me. May not work for you, but I mean, you can go online, folks, and you can look this up. Most men and most women, especially most women, are not eating enough protein, especially
No.
if you're older. They're not. I'm sorry, folks, they're not. And it's not Butter Bob saying this, just look it up and you'll find the statistics online. So if you're feeling bad and you're not feeling good and your brain is fogged up, just maybe add a second meal and you can still keep that window, a second meal and just make sure you get that protein up there, maybe up there high enough, maybe depend on your size, you know, 80, 90, 100 grams for a woman, maybe 120, 30, 40 for a man. Folks, I'm just throwing numbers out the window. There's ways to calculate this. But if you're way down there in the 50 grams a day or 60 grams a day, you are wasting your muscles. And all that weight you're proud of on the scale, about half of it is your muscles. The
Mhm.
muscles you're going to need to walk around when you're 75 years old.
Mhm.
Don't fall into dogma, folks. Fall into science. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I
I
just
agree
took
with
the
that.
channel over.
Uh, and Carrie, I'll answer your question, yes. So Carrie's on a budget. If all you have is eggs and meat, and that's what you eat, eggs have the perfect ratio of protein to fat. They are a superfood. Ribeyes are the same. I believe ribeyes and eggs have the perfect ratios. So you eat what you have access to. Absolutely. That's, doing the best that you can. And eggs are a wonderful, I mean, like I said in my story, I ate nothing but bacon and eggs. And I lost 60 pounds that year, but it was the only thing that tasted good. I think it was the salt on the bacon, honestly, that
I
tasted
love
good.
bacon.
But
I love it so much.
yeah.
Yeah.
And Simply
Now you can eat
Social.
you can eat 5 eggs. I think it's like 35 or 40 grams of protein and just the right amount of fat. It's just perfect. You could live on eggs,
Perfect. So
guys. I
good.
mean, just about it.
Yes.
I mean,
Simply Social says, I had a question. Bob is exactly right. After 60, your legs get weak if you're not exercising or eating enough protein. Now, if you're eating meat and cannot eat a lot, can you supplement with protein drinks? What is your thoughts on that?
oh, I don't wanna I'm careful to answer this question because I don't know what's in those things. But, if you read the science, I think, and boy, this is gonna be controversial. If you have to supplement, I would probably go with that, the whey, even though it's probably
Really?
yeah. The reason I say it is because it's animal based, folks, and but I don't use it, so don't take my word for it. Honestly, if you can't eat enough, then space the meals out instead of turning straight to a supplement. Say eat a little meal here, then wait a couple hours and eat a little bit more. You can still keep a nice window there of fasting, but you
Mhm.
can't eat enough at that one meal. That's fine. Just add a second meal or even a third meal during your window. And you can do it that way, guys. Just make sure you get your protein up to where you need and you'll feel so much better. And then you still fast. You don't have to turn to supplements where you have no idea what these people have put in there. And there's so many rules and regulations that they can get around and skirt and put all kinds of junk in there that they don't have to report because they, have bribed this politician or that politician. Sorry, folks. If you're eating something that's processed in a can, you literally don't know what's in there. You just do not know.
Right.
Yeah.
And
So
I've heard of this too. And the other thing you can do, and I don't know if you know who Kim Howerton is, but she's been talking about this for years. That people who get too full on protein, right? They're not getting enough and it fills them up too much. What you do is you build yourself up. So if this amount fills you up, then tomorrow add just a little bit more. Then
yeah,
the next day add just a little bit more. And the next thing you know, before you're eating it, or before you know it, you've increased your protein to a good amount
just
and you've
space it
built
out. Yeah,
yourself up.
yeah,
Yeah.
space it out.
Yeah.
You could eat at say noon and eat at 5, or you could space it out 4 or 5 hours if you wanted to. And I'm not talking about overeating. It's you're satisfied both meals, but adding that second meal, especially for us older folks. Now, listen, if you're 20 years old, if you're 30 years old, I'm not really talking directly to you. I'm talking to people that are older, past 50, really past 40. That's when it really starts, going downhill. But when you get up in your 50s and 60s, folks, you got to have your protein or you will waste your body away. I'm sorry, you will. And the research is there and I will, bring it out, but you don't have to wait for me to come out with a video on it. You can do your research. It's out there. Yeah, and I know no way, Butter Bob.
No way.
I'm not for whey. I'm not, folks. I'm just saying if you had to pick something, I would pick an animal-based
He's joking.
yeah.
Like,
Oh, yeah.
no
Yeah. Yeah.
way. No way, Butter
I've
Bob.
railed against these powders all my life, but who knows? I mean, some people have had that, surgery, that, bariatric surgery. Maybe
Yeah.
they don't have much of a stomach and maybe they need to supplement with a protein drink. Who am I to tell them, no, don't do this because it's off it's out of the dogma, it's out of the 10 commandments of keto, which I don't care about. So if it works for them, who am I to tell them no or to discourage them, even though I wouldn't do it myself? You know what I'm trying to say? This is where we get
Mhm.
wrapped around the axle trying to say, okay, our dogma says we can't do this. Therefore, we can't recommend that. No, no, I'm not doing that because I don't care. I'm going to say what I think, period. I'm a crotchety
Yeah.
old man. I don't care.
So they're
It's
talking
out.
about lard in the comments, and you can buy lard very cheap at Kroger's, Walmart. Rick is even saying Gordon Food also sells 50-pound lard blocks. It is cheap. I think I got little blocks at Kroger's for like a couple bucks a piece.
Yeah,
Like in the grand scheme of things, it's cheap.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Just looking for more questions. So I've been trying to pay attention to this.
No, go ahead.
I knew your channel was gonna be busy. Uh,
I haven't even been
and
over there
Rick's
to see what do you see mine and yours at the same time?
yeah, it's coming
Okay.
into this.
Yeah, no, I didn't know if
Uh,
it was showing on. I'll skip over there.
yeah, Christy. This is Christy at Meeting Wellness. She says the more gray hair I get, the more I say what's on my mind.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay, so
I wanna be as agreeable as I'm possibly able to be.
yeah. So I actually have a lot of gray hair. This is the one thing that I do is I'm not ready to go officially gray. This is fake, full disclosure. Part of the reason why I have red hair is because I'm a natural brunette, but a week before I met my husband, I decided to dye it red just to have fun. And so when my husband met me 20 some years ago, I was a redhead, and then I let it go back to brown, and he's like, "This is a fraud." I met a redhead, so I've kept this up for 20 years because my husband
Oh,
likes it.
wow.
I don't straighten my hair, I keep it red, whatever. I know hair dye is not carnivore, whatever. It's the one thing that I do for myself, but, and I do it myself, I don't go to the salon. But, just because 'cause I'm cheap. But, yeah, so when people look at me, I'm 50, and she's like, "She doesn't have any gray hair." I've been going gray since 19 years old, so, uh full disclosure, that's me, but I've heard people go carnivore and their hair's gotten darker.
I've heard that.
Barbara Barbara's 65 years old and she has darker hair, and Rick is what, 56 or 57? And you don't even see gray hair on his head. I don't even know if he has. And Peter, Papa Carnivore too, he, is 64 and he has hardly any gray hair. So I find that interesting. Okay, so here's a question for you from our beloved Jerry, Carnivore
Hi,
Jerry in the
Jerry.
middle, of course. She's my one of my besties. We're like
I've
sisters.
talked to Jerry before, yeah.
She's awesome. I love her. She says, "Are you looking to achieve a certain weight or a goal? What are your goals?"
Yeah, I mean, this subject to change, but my goal is probably between 190 and 200, which is probably people would consider that a little overweight, but I felt good at that weight, and that's what I'm getting. When I was on Butter Bob, I think I got down into the 160s. That was
Wow.
way too thin. Terrible. I will never do that again, never. But once I'm down and I feel good again, and even if I have a little extra weight on me, that's fine. I mean, I think it looks better on an older man to have a little bit of extra weight. Hopefully, I'll put some muscle on. We'll see.
How tall are you? Can I ask, do you mind?
Yeah, me?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I think I'm 5'11", but you shrink as you get older, so I may be a little bit less than that now, but you actually
Yeah,
do shrink as you get older, yeah.
I I was almost 5'11" when I was in high school, and I'm down to 5'9" now, so which I'm
Yeah.
fine with because I always wanted to be petite, and I was always, like, taller than the guys in grade school and high school, and, I hated it, but, um, the dog lover asked, "Do you think Diet Coke causes you to lose muscle?"
I don't know the answer to that. I think
I don't
Diet Coke's
either.
terrible for you, and you should quit it. It used to be my biggest vice in life, but I don't drink it. I haven't drank it in about 2 or 3, maybe 3 years. Yeah.
I had a Coke Zero when I was in Florida last summer, and the only reason why I drank it was because I kept going on this bus, and I think I was getting motion sick on the bus for our choir trip, and I was getting migraines, and so I needed caffeine. And the only thing that I had access to was these Coke Zeros. And I'm
Yeah.
gonna tell you, they tasted so good. I'm not gonna
I
lie.
know. I know.
I
I know.
They taste like
They're
real
designed to
Coke.
be good. Yeah. They're designed to make you want more and
It
more of
was
them.
delicious. It was so good.
Yeah.
But
Even
I
2 or
haven't
3
had them
years
since.
ago, my youngest daughter would really got onto me about my Diet Coke habit. And, because she loves me and she wants her dad to be healthy, even though I wasn't on the diet then. So I listened to her, and I used to get these little, they call them Mio or Dio or whatever, these little things that you squeeze a
Yeah, I
little,
used
yeah.
to get those too.
And
Yeah,
that's how I started drinking water again. But then I got to reading about that, all the stuff that's in it, and I thought, "Okay,
me
I wonder if
too.
I could just drink the water without it." So I got a filtration system on my tap water because 'cause I'm not paying for the water from the store. I'm cheap. So and I can drink the water now, and, so I just drink plain water with ice in it. And actually, since I've been doing this protein experiment, I've pretty much cut coffee out. Like, I did have a little coffee tonight because 'cause I'm tired and I wanted to be fresh for this interview, but I normally don't drink coffee at all anymore. It's crazy. I'll tell you something, once you feel better, you don't really need the caffeine anymore because the caffeine's a crutch. But I'm not putting anybody down that drinks it. They
I
can
know.
drink it all they want. I don't think it'll hurt your diet at all, but, you know, it's just one more crutch. Do an experiment and see
I've
if you
been
can feel
battling
better.
that. I
Yeah.
was up to 2 pots a day, and I was the worse
Yeah.
I felt, the more coffee I would drink to try to get through the day when my thyroid was messed up. So I cut down to 1 pot. So
It's okay.
I'll make a
I'm
pot.
not dogma on this. I'm
I
shocked after
know.
55, 60 years, probably been drinking it since I was a kid, that I can just quit it and I don't miss it, you know?
There's
You know,
hope.
see,
There's hope for
normally
me.
around this time, I'd already be laying down relaxing. I wouldn't be asleep, but I'd be laying down relaxing. So I would never drink coffee this time of night. Now, when I was younger, I'd drink it up until bedtime. I'd have a cup of coffee sitting on the nightstand on bed, but I can't do that now. I can't
I
do that now. No, 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 no. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't either because it disrupts my sleep too much, and I oh, that's the other thing that got better. I am sleeping so much better. I had this insomnia that I would wake up every night at 3 AM, and hot flashes would wake I am sleeping through the night, and I know this is carnivore doing this. Carnivore is making my sleep so much better. It really
Yeah.
is. I think we've gotten through all the questions
Okay.
and the comments. I don't wanna keep you. I know you're busy.
Yeah.
Um, I wanna thank you so much
Well, thank
for,
you. You.
having having me on, and I don't we're kind of on my channel, but on your
Yeah.
channel, so it's kind
I've
of a
enjoyed it.
collaboration. It's
I've enjoyed it
me
very
too,
much.
and
Yeah.
I'll send you a copy of the video,
Okay.
and with your permission, I'll make your own, Carnivore Avenger video if you would like
Yeah.
that. I
Yeah.
will
Yeah.
make that and send that to
Yeah.
you for
Thank you.
yourself. That's kinda like my shtick, as some people
That's your
call it.
shtick.
It's my shtick a
Yeah.
little bit that I make these cute little, videos for people, and, I have a contest once a month, but I really appreciate, you interviewing me tonight and, having me on, and, welcome back to the community. I bet you things have changed a little bit since you were
They
away,
have,
and,
they have, they have. Yeah, I've enjoying it so
yeah.
much more now. I'm sometimes I sound like a grumpy old man. I'm not grumpy. I just know what I think, and I think, I wanna say it. But no, I've enjoyed it so much more this time. I'm so much more relaxed, with it
Mhm.
now. And, I see that, you know, what's gonna happen is gonna happen. I don't have to be responsible for success or failure, you know? I'm sorry we didn't talk about that much, but I'm a man of faith. I believe that God works things
Me
out
too.
in his time, and we don't get to rush it. And, so, I mean, he proved that to me after I left the channel, and the channel grew 10 times bigger than it was without me. That's
Amazing.
how important
We
I
t
am.
you know, we talk about this a lot. We
Yeah,
joke about it. We're like,
yeah,
"If you wanna be successful at YouTube, go off of YouTube for a while."
yeah.
But,
But honestly,
uh,
I think you just do the best you can and you leave it up into it for God is my reason for it, but a higher power, whatever. But you
me
can't
too.
control everything in this life. You cannot control it. You do the best you can and you hope, you plant the seed and you hope it comes up. If it doesn't come up, then you just keep planting seeds until they come up. So
Right.
yeah, yeah.
Right.
I appreciate
Uh,
all the good comments from everybody, and I thank all your people that's on your channel. I recognize a lot of the names that's on here. So
we have a lot of
yeah,
the same
yeah,
viewers, yeah,
yeah,
and you'll
yeah.
find
I
this
love that.
this community, they're family, and we got each other's back.
Right.
So, you mess with Bob, you mess with me, kinda
That's the
thing.
thing that's
So we got
different than years ago. We didn't have live streams. We didn't have this ability to share stories and actually get to know the people. I mean, you're
Yep,
typing to people, but that's not the same as actually sitting down and talking to somebody. And
right.
that's really benefit. Plus, we're learning things like that. We're learning from people. Oh, maybe this doesn't work for everybody. Whatever that X factor is. So,
Mhm.
and that keeps us from being too dogmatic. Yeah.
It does, it does. Alright, everybody. Well, I'm gonna let
Thank,
Bob go get his sleep because he's in busy season, and,
yeah.
honestly, I've had a busy weekend too, so thank you so much,
Thank you.
everybody, and we're gonna
Thank you,
go
Amy,
ahead and
very much.
close this out. Thank you. Take
Oh,
care, everybody. Have a
bye,
good,
guys.
rest of your week.
Bye
Bye-bye. Oh, hold on. This is how I do it here. I'm not